check, check, check. 1, 2, check.
Sorry. A very good evening and a warm welcome to all present. We welcome you to the 55th edition of the International Film Festival of India, and we are very pleased to have with us the cast and crew of Swatantra Veer Savarkar. And before we begin, I wish to let all our friends know that this press conference is being live streamed so that film lovers and our friends in the media can also access all the proceedings remotely. We have with us Swatantra Veer Savarkar, which has been the jury's choice for the opening film of the opening feature of the Indian Panorama section. And I'm delighted to have with me on the panel, I have Randeep Hooda, who is the director, the actor, the writer, and the co-producer of the movie. A man who has donned many hats for this. I have Anjali Hooda, who plays Madam Bhikaji Kama. I have Jay Patel, who plays Shyamji Krishna Verma. I have Amit Sial, who plays Baba Rao. And I have Mrinal, who plays Madan Lal Dhingra. And so let's begin this with a very short synopsis of the movie, even though I'm sure this is a film that needs no introduction. This film explores the untold story of India's independence, and it spans across 53 years of Veer Savarkar's life, portraying him as one of India's most controversial, misunderstood, but also one of India's unsung heroes. It highlights his love for the motherland and the dire consequences that he went on to face in order to dedicate his life to the motherland. And can we begin with the trailer of the movie? Can I have the lights switched off, please? Thank you. Before I open the floor to the brilliant members of our cast and crew, may I remind the audience to keep their mobile phones switched off or on silent mode so that our guests are not disturbed while they share their thoughts. May I request Randeep Hooda, the man who leads this brilliant cast, to begin with his opening remarks.
Hello, can you hear me?
Whichever you're comfortable with.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I feel very fortunate that my movie, or our movie, is opening the 55th IFFI Indian Panorama. There was a lot of struggle while making this movie, like there was a lot of struggle in Savarkarji's life. I myself did not know much about him when I became a part of this movie. But in the process, I learned a lot which I was not aware of. Most of us are not aware of because that's not a part of our public discourse. And I was quite shocked at the name calling that Mr. Savarkar has been suffering politically for so long. So I took it upon myself to show the story as it is, as it was. And with all the research and detailing that we were able to put in a movie, to bring about a certain sense of loss that we've had, that we've not acknowledged our heroes, and all across the world people celebrate their freedom fighters, and here we are maligning a man who gave up so much. Not just him, but his family gave up so much for the country. It's also we are now our position in the world has improved a lot. Our positioning has improved, and that's not only because of our great diplomacy, but it is because that we are a very high-tech, mechanized, armed nation. We make weapons, and we also are now selling weapons to other countries. which is what Mr. Savarkar wanted. He always wanted India to be militarily strong because he felt that it was only because of strong military you can have a deterrent to war. All these things, he disagreed with Mr. Gandhi on his ahimsa, not because he was a violent man himself. It is because ahimsa did not leave an opening for even self-defense. So our image across the world कि एक गाल पे थप्पड़ मारो तो दूसरा गाल भी आगे कर देंगे, ये हमारे बहुत बड़ी सोच है, बहुत महान सोच है, पर ये सावरकर साहब बिल्कुल प्रैक्टिकल नहीं मानते थे. तो जो हमारे को मेरा इसमें सवाल उठाया है कि we've all been taught that we got our freedom only through non-violence. This is not that story. So this is the other part of the armed struggle, which was inspired from our first armed struggle against the British, which was in 1857. Mr. Savarkar wrote a book on it, which eventually then inspired a lot of freedom fighters from Kanhare to Madan Lal Dhingra to Bhagat Singh, Chandrasekhar Azad, Subhash Chandra Bose, Khudiram Bose, and all these people were inspired to take up arms against the British, and finally they were not given their due. Clement Attlee, who was the Prime Minister at that time of Great Britain, which when we got our independence, said in his speeches many times that the main reason that they left India was because of Azad Hind Fauj, and a lot of trained military personnel of Indian origin who were coming back and not accepting their Raj. And finally, there was the Bombay Dock Mutiny of 20,000 personnel, which then led to them saying, we cannot take it anymore. He even said other things, but I did not go into that in the movie. I try to keep it balanced. I don't call him Veer in the movie. It is for you to see and find out. And there are all these freedom fighters. I was often directing the movie, and I felt when I look in the frame that I could make a biopic on each one of them. So I'm very fortunate for my cast and the whole crew. They really did a great job.
May I now request Anjali Huda to share her thoughts with the audience?
I think what Randeep has shared is so in detail. And when I was to play Madam Bikaji Kama, I really didn't know that she was a freedom fighter. And I just knew a Bikaji Kama place in Delhi, and I didn't know it was after her name. And it is very shameful, actually, that at 50 I have to find out that such a big, woman leader was existing, and I had no idea about it. And I would blame my history teaching in school. I would have never known about her till I did the role. I mean, it's not a nice thing to read about such big historical personalities after many years of independence. So I would say that this is an eye-opener, and as an actor, as a sister, and as a doctor, I'm very proud to be a part of this whole project, and I wish that more and more such projects are done by the film industry.
Jay, would you like to share your thoughts with our guests?
Yeah, sure. First of all, thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming here, and it's a beautiful evening. We'll make sure you guys gonna have fun, and we'll try to learn something, which is I learned from Randeep. But I'm gonna talk about my character. So मेरा इन लोगों की तरह स्टोरी नहीं है. मुझे श्यामजी कृष्ण वर्मा का सब कुछ पता था, बचपन से पता था, और because थोड़ा फैमिली ने सिखाया हुआ था, because he was NRI and I live in New York City, and हमें बहुत सारी चीज़ें श्यामजी कृष्ण वर्मा की पता थी. उसकी सिर्फ 2 ही बुक है, एक पद्मश्री जिन्होंने लिखी हुई थी बुक, उसके ऊपर से मैंने थोड़ा स्टडी किया था. एंड रणदीप told me, so like don't prepare and don't try to ratta maro on it. Once you're gonna come on set, I'll let you know what you need to do. So this freedom fighter, ek chota, I just want to give you a brief like what happened. He was born in 1857. He died in 1930. उन्होंने अपनी अस्थिया को 100 साल तक बैंक में डिपॉजिट करके रखी थी जर्मनी में. when he died, he said like, okay, जब मैं मेरी अर्थिया तो नहीं जा पहुंची, पर जब हम आज़ाद होंगे तो definitely someone's gonna take it there. And after 75 years, somebody got it from India and यहाँ वापस लेके आए उनको. So this kind of heroes, we already have a lot of heroes in history, and we don't know anything about it. सो ये बहुत अच्छी शुरुआत है हमारे देश के लिए, हमारे नौजवानों के लिए और हमारे यंगस्टर्स के लिए कि ऐसी मूवी आए और हम कुछ उसमें से सीखें और न्यू जनरेशन को पास ऑन करें. थैंक यू.
Thank you, Jay. Mrinal, would you like to talk about your role?
Hello, good evening, everyone. So for me, it actually started with wanting to work with Randeep. You know, when the casting director called me and told me Randeep wants to meet you, I think that was exciting enough for me. But once I met him, he told me about the character. I, like all of them, also didn't have an idea who Madan Lal Dhingra was. But the more I got to know about Madan Lal Dhingra and Savarkar, also I spoke to my parents, and they had an idea about who these people were. My grandfather is 97, and he's met Savarkar personally. So when I told him this, he was really excited, and he just made me understand the gravity of the man and how he, how people saw him. So I mean, I had all the reasons to sort of jump onto this, and I've been really fortunate that I was given this opportunity to play Madan Lal Dhingra alongside all of these amazing people.
Amit, would you like to talk about your experience
Yeah,
of being part
sure.
of this film?
Randeep and I have been friends and brothers for too long, yes. And when he offered me this part, which is Baba Rao Savarkar, actually, I've always found him as my mentor, and although he's younger to me by a year or so, but he's always been like an elder brother to me, and I jumped at the opportunity to play an elder brother to him in the film, but jokes aside, I think this is one of the most actually important films and stories to be told, just by the virtue of the fact what Randeep just mentioned right now about we just not even minutely knowing about this man who suffered so much and did so much for the country. And as an actor, it was an absolute pleasure. It was tough. It was horrible at times. It was he's one of the most extracting directors, and to mildly put it, by the way. But I'm really glad, and I feel privileged that I have known him as a friend and a brother for so long, and he had the courage and the audacity to bring this kind of a story across to the audiences, and it's by far one of the most amazing biopics made in Indian cinema, and I think everybody should watch it. It's very intelligent. It's very you'll learn a lot of history about other freedom fighters from this film, and as Anjali said, even I didn't know that. Like we've been in Delhi and Bhikaji Kama place, and I never knew that. And yeah, and I think it's one of the most important films of the decade, if not more. And I feel privileged to be a part of this film.
Thank you for your insights. I now open the floor to questions from the audience. Yes, please. Could we have a cordless mic up front? Here, please. First row.
Yeah, very good evening to the team. My question is to Randeep, sir. Before film was made, we had Vikram Sampath's 2 volumes book on Veer Savarkar published by Penguin. So was that book was any research material or pre-production material for you? And to add further, was there anything which not covered in that book you had researched and bought in the film? Thank you.
I read Mr. Vikram Sampath's book, and it was very interesting, and we did take a lot of inspiration from that. But then there was many other books that we read. There were archives, our history archives that we read, and there is a book by Dhananjay Keer that I read. There's books written by Savarkarji himself, a lot of material that he himself wrote, which was very interesting to hear it from the man straight up. And then there was Purandare's book, Mr. Purandare's book. So there were many such books and materials. And also there was the archival material and all that we found And there were a lot of people who came forth to help us with the anecdotes and stuff like that. And my attempt was to not just show the people the movie, it was to make them feel that they're inside the movie. So I used a lot of techniques to do that, with like handheld cameras and breaking the fourth wall and stuff like that. So to add to all this research, it was the kind of the taking and the sound design and the production design and costume design, which went into a further detail of making it come alive. And on the whole crew and the cast, they did a very fabulous, detailed job.
सर मेरे दो सवाल है आपसे. पहली बात तो ये डायरेक्शन करना है, खुद उसमें एक्ट करना कितना चैलेंजिंग था, और खुद को कैसे कास्ट किया. पहली बात तो कि मैं वीर सावरकर प्ले कर रहा हूँ, तो
Couldn't find a better actor.
so what was that process?
Well, I got cast in this movie as an actor first. I had no idea that I'll be ending up directing it and co-writing it and finally producing it. My first thing was that I don't look like him. So I'm a big Jat boy from Haryana and he's from Maharashtra and stuff like that. So I didn't look like him. So that was the biggest first challenge. So I was a bit iffy about it. But then I read books on him just out of interest. I was shooting in England and I was shooting in Punjab. And there were 2 projects that I was doing. Every night I kept reading about him. So I was very taken in by the man. And then slowly as things happen in life, I, due to many, many reasons, got the baton of a director. And before that, I had already become the co-writer of the movie with Utkarsh Naithani, whose contribution is very immense in the movie. And then slowly, this is how it started happening. I don't know whether if I had cast myself as an actor, if I was a director, but also being an actor, I think for me to direct movies with other people as, the protagonist might be a bit tough because of us actors, we are very vain people. And so I'll be doing a lot more direction, but mostly I'll be doing movies where it's an actor-director project. It's not just a director project. I don't think that'll take some time for me to do that. But yeah, so I don't know if you can suggest a better actor to play Savarkar, we'll remake the movie.
एक और सवाल था कि जैसे हॉलीवुड में सुपर हीरोज़ के बैक टू बैक मूवीज़ आते हैं, वैसे हमारे भी बहुत सारे अनसंग हीरोज़ हैं कि जो पता नहीं, तो क्या आपने ये सोचा है कि उनके ऊपर भी एक छोटे छोटे मूवीज़ आप लाएंगे? एंड सेकंड क्वेश्चन इज़ कि अंडमान का जो पूरा सीक्वेंस है वो कहाँ पे शूट किया था, एंड जस्ट थोड़ा एक्सपीरियंस अबाउट दैट शूट.
Okay, what was the first question? Why
सब
do people always
हीरोज़
ask 2 questions? Ask 1 question. Sorry?
सब हीरोज़ के ऊपर.
Yes, so I often looked at my monitor and said I could make a biopic on it, because I did a lot of studying on every character, because they don't come on screen for too long, but it was 1 or 2 lines or 2-3 scenes. I have to show them their personality, what it was, and it was truthful, and a lot of things they say in the movie were actually said by them, right? So first of all, I cannot make small movies. So I cannot make small movies on a lot of people. Each movie will involve a big production and all that. I think I've made a start as a director, like I have done as an actor. I have played whole plethora of roles, different characters and all that. So I would like to move on from this historical genre and go in. I would like to direct an action movie next. So that will be the thing. But maybe I'll come around to it again and direct a movie on one of these, these characters that are sitting with me on the stage, and I hope they are in my good books. I'll cast them also. Andaman sequences were shot in Andaman. We got the permission through a letter through NFDC that we want to shoot a movie on that. Since it's a historical movie, they don't allow it in the cellular jail. But it was since Mr. Savarkar, even the airport is called the Veer Savarkar Airport. So they did allow us. I went to the Lieutenant Governor there of Andaman Nicobar Island. He was so helpful. He gave us a blanket permission to shoot. And we shot all the Andaman sequences there. In fact, I shot France also over there. The France sequence, the whole escape sequence, I didn't have the money to go to France. I did not even have the money to go to England. So the whole England portion is shot in Satya Studio in Mumbai. So I was a really frugal director. You know, I was a very frugal director. I was very aware of the limitation of the money that I must have. So yeah, but Andaman really opened my eyes when the first time I went there. I wrote these scenes in the movie sitting in a room in Andaman. But when I went to Andaman, I was like, what? I had to change so much from the geography, from the feeling of it. It's a haunting experience to go there. I don't know whether you've been there or not. And funnily enough, I'll tell you a funny anecdote. Whenever we were shooting, so place was open for public as well. And the thing that I noticed the most, that there were a lot of newly married people, newly married couples who would come there, and I don't know for what reason they'll be visiting the jail. And usually the girls will ask, or the men will ask, to shut the woman inside the jail and lock it from outside and take a picture. That was very funny. I saw that over hundreds of people doing it. And I also said, okay, all right, I'm a method actor. I'm going to now, please lock me in the cell and go away for a while so that I can't hear you. I could not stay for 2 minutes. I got claustrophobic. And that was then my inspiration for the whole character and all the characters in Andaman. That sense of breathlessness and despair and darkness and mosquitoes. It must have been terrible. So that was the thing. And funnily enough, the first flag of independent India was raised in Andaman and Nicobar Islands at Kalapani by Subhash Chandra Bose. So how poetic is it that history itself went that way? Because when the Japanese occupied that, and we tied up with Germany and Japan against the Axis forces. So yeah, it's a lot of things. Also, the man of non-violence, Mr. M.K. Gandhi, died of a bullet. The man of violence, Mr. V.D. Savarkar, fasted unto death. That was the biggest irony. Once I discovered that, I was like, what is this going on? You know, आमरण अनशन बहुत लोगों ने किए, मरा कोई नहीं, सिर्फ सावरकर जी मरे.
सर मेरा एक सवाल है कि स्वतंत्र वीर सावरकर जी को क्रांतिकारी के रूप से देखा ही जाता है, लेकिन उनकी सोच और विचारों पे बहुत ज़्यादा बातें होती है. आपने बोला कि पहले आपको सावरकर जी मालूम नहीं थे, इस फिल्म के दौरान मालूम हो गए. आप पे उसके बाद इम्पैक्ट क्या हुआ, उनके विचारों का इम्पैक्ट आप पे क्या हुआ?
देखिए, उनके बहुत विचार थे, सभी लोगों के बहुत विचार थे. आपके भी पूरी जिंदगी में विचार थे और वो बदलते रहते हैं, उनमें बदलाव आता रहता है, एक ग्रोथ आती रहती है. तो इस मूवी में मैंने यही दिखाया है कि कोई भी इंसान हो, वो अपनी परिस्थितियों का रिजल्ट होता है. तो मैंने कोशिश की है कि इस पिक्चर में उनके सर्कमस्टेंसेस दिखाऊं, जो आज हिंदुस्तान है, जिस नज़रिए से हम आज लोगों को देखते हैं और दुनिया को देखते हैं, वो नज़रिया आज से 100 साल पहले नहीं था जब हमें गुलाम देश थे. तो उन सब की वो बदलती रही. उनकी लिखाई बहुत ही खूबसूरत थी. वो बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेटेड सेंटेंसेस लिखते थे. वो सेंटेंस पढ़ना शुरू करो, जब तक खत्म करते थे तो दोबारा पढ़ना पड़ता था. तो इट वॉज अ वेरी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड मैन. सो आई ट्राई टू ब्रिंग दैट कॉम्प्लिकेशन to the screen. And what I learned from him the most was a simple thing, that his Hindutva, the way he defined it, that from Sindhu River to Sindhu, the Bay of Bengal, anybody who calls it their fatherland, their motherland, their ancestors' land, their land of their mother, and their land of their spirituality, is a Hindu, no matter what caste, what religion, or which place you belong to. So that is a very unifying thing. And I think his Hindutva, because he coined that term, is now being misinterpreted to bash and to support in both ways. I think we have to go back to what he was doing. And also, he was doing it for independence. Today, we are doing it for maybe our cultural identity. We should be proud of our cultural identity. And also, as I said earlier, that, you know, his militarification of our country was his biggest aim. And he was always critical of Pandit Nehru, because they said कि हमें आर्मी की जरूरत नहीं है. तभी हम चाइना वॉर में जब हमको पिटाई हुई, तो उसके बाद से जब देश बदलने लगा, तो उसमें बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, और ये सबसे बड़ी चीज है कि उनके जाने के इतने सालों बाद आज भी उनके ऊपर जो वाद विवाद पॉलिटिक्स हो रही हैं, तो भाई वो आदमी कुछ ना कुछ तो सही करके गए होंगे। जो आदमी कुछ सही करके जाता है उसी का ऐसे बैंड बजता है।
I take this opportunity to interject, and my question is to all members of the cast other than Randeep. And while we are on the context of unsung heroes, and you mentioned that there were so many characters who you felt could actually be elaborated upon. So, when we have characters about whom not much is known and not much is perhaps written, what does it take, or what is the experience like to have to essay the role of such a character? What are the challenges and what are the opportunities in terms of bringing to life on screen characters about whom the target audience is not really aware? I leave it to any of you.
For me, I think it was unfortunately or fortunately, I didn't have that much time to research about Baba Rao, but then whatever little bit I started to research about after I got the part, I mean, he had researched enough about it. So, and I think I made it very selfishly saying this, but I made it very easier for myself to just feel and explore what Baba Rao must be going through vis-a-vis, Vinayak Savarkar and the family and everything and whatever he had researched. And I think it was plentiful, and then when you go on floor and you have a solid director behind you, and he had researched it so much, he co-wrote it, so he was actually breathing and living it for a very long time. And I remember, this is a funny thing, and I hope it makes you laugh, because it didn't make me laugh then. It's laughable now. I went to him one day and I said, listen, Randeep, I think. He said, you don't think, I'll think for you. so that was the point. I said, okay, I won't think a lot. I'll just let him guide me. So he was my shepherd, and I think it was good enough.
In fact, out of all the characters, all the major characters that are in the movie, Baba Rao Savarkar's character is the most unsung character. And he unfortunately died even before we got our independence. And though Vinayak Savarkar had become a politician, Baba Rao Savarkar stayed a revolutionary, and he died a revolutionary. He became very sick. Both the brothers were very sick because of Kalapani. But in the whole movie, the most unsung is Baba Rao Savarkar, who was in his brother's shadows.
Would
मैं
anyone else
लखनऊ
like
से
to?
हूँ। मेरा नाम नम्रता शुक्ला, मैं लखनऊ से हूँ। मैं ये जानना चाहती हूँ कि फिल्म आपने सावरकर की सोच कहाँ से लाए कि गांधी पे तो बहुत अच्छा आई फिल्म, सब कुछ हुआ, आपके मन में कैसे आया कि इस फिल्म पे काम किया जा सकता है? उन्होंने जैसे उनको गोली लगी और इनको ये भूख से मरे, ये थॉट आपके दिमाग में आया कि चलो इस पे फिल्म बनाई जाए? और दूसरा क्वेश्चन मेरा ये है कि
पहले एक क्वेश्चन का जवाब देते हैं ना, वो क्वेश्चन पता नहीं क्यों पूछते हैं हमेशा। तो नहीं, ये मुझे पिक्चर करते करते रियलाइज हुआ, अरे वो गोली से मरे और ये इन्होंने आमरण अनशन करके समाधि ली थी एक्चुअली सावरकर साहब ने। ये पिक्चर मेरे तो रेडार पे थी ही नहीं। जब एकदम से ये इस पिक्चर की बात उठी और मेरे पास एज एन एक्टर वो आए, तभी मैंने इस पे ध्यान देना शुरू किया था। मुझे पहले से ये सब चीजें मैं भी नहीं सोचता था, और आजकल लोग सोचते भी नहीं हैं। आजकल लोग बहुत बिजी रहते हैं, फोन में बिजी रहते हैं, इस चीज में बिजी रहते हैं। तो नहीं, मैं किसी सोच के नहीं बनाई। पर जब मैं इसको बनाने लगा तो मैंने गांधी फिल्म दोबारा देखी, रिचर्ड एटनबरा की, और उसमें तो सावरकर जी थे ही नहीं। उसमें तो काली टोपी और खाकी कच्छों वालों को उन्होंने विलन बना दिया था कि इन्होंने बापू को खामखा मार दिया, राइट? तो तब जब मैंने वो देखी, और सिर्फ यही नहीं, उसका मैंने टेकिंग स्टाइल देखा, बहुत ही स्टिल फ्रेम्स और बहुत ही लेजरली पेस्ड। तो मैं कहा, अगर अहिंसा वाले इंसान की पिक्चर ऐसी है तो हिंसा वाले की ऐसी होनी चाहिए। उसमें बहुत मूवमेंट होनी चाहिए, बहुत एक एंग्स्ट होनी चाहिए, जो कि मैंने इस पिक्चर में लाने की कोशिश की।
कितना समय लग गया है रिसर्च करके आपको इस फिल्म को कंप्लीट करने में,
2 साल।
और स्टार कास्ट जो आपने ली वो कैसे एकदम परफेक्टली ले ली कि ये इस पे रोल बैठेगा, इस पे भी कोई रिसर्च करी आपने?
जी, मेरा कास्टिंग डायरेक्टर थे पराग मेहता। तो हमारा पहला क्राइटेरिया होता था कि एक्टर उन जैसा लगना चाहिए, रियल जो इंसान थे उन जैसा लगना चाहिए, या मेकअप से हम वैसा उनको लगा सकते हैं, ये पहला क्राइटेरिया था। और फिर अमित इज अ वेरी गुड एक्टर। माय सिस्टर जो है उनको मैं स्कूल में इनको स्टेज पे देख के मैंने एक्टिंग शुरू की थी, और मैं तो बोल रहा था कि इनको नहीं लेते हैं यार, ये नेपोटिज्म है, ये क्या है, मैं उस जोश में था उस वक्त। तो उसने इनका स्क्रीन टेस्ट लिया और वो बहुत अच्छा किया इन्होंने। तो मैं कहा यार चलो अपॉर्चुनिटी देते हैं। ऐसे ही मृणाल वाज वेरी गुड, एंड जय माय फ्रेंड, he knew more about Shyamji than me, and I'd listen to him, and his I don't know whether you want people to know whether you have acted before or not.
Something. So he called me 2:30 at the night. I was in New York. He got me up and he said like, "Hey, this guy, Gujarati guy, do you know Shyamji Krishna Verma? Anything about him?" ज़्यादा कुछ उसका है नहीं Google पे. So I told him A to Z about him, and that's how he got surprised. He's like, "How the hell do you know it?" And मैंने पूरा उसको story बताया. So then he said like, "श्याम जी का रोल तो तू ही करेगा because आधा से ज़्यादा तो तेरे को पता है, एक्टिंग में तेरे से करवा लूँगा." So that's how.
तो इस फिल्म के लिए आप सबको बड़ी मेहनत करनी पड़ी हो, क्योंकि उस समय तो कैसेट या कोई CD VD ऐसी मिली नहीं होगी आपको?
नहीं, बहुत ही डिटेल्स में, because he was 100 and let's talk about like 1906 में इंडिया हाउस बाय किया था कैश में 6,000 पाउंड में श्यामजी कृष्ण वर्मा ने, और उसको क्रांति गुरु बोलते थे। और यहाँ से तिलक जी उनको चिट्ठी लिखते थे, और यहाँ से स्टूडेंट आते थे इंडिया से, और उनको वहाँ पूरी शिक्षा मिलती थी। और उनके भी रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस थे कि मेरी इंडिया हाउस में जो रहेगा लंदन में, वो अंग्रेजों के लिए काम नहीं कर सकता। एंड देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस अबाउट दैट। एंड कैरेक्टर के अंदर रेडी होने में, फॉर एग्जांपल, क्या आई रियली वांट टू अप्रिशिएट लाइक रेणुका एंड पंकज एंड आवर एंटायर टीम। 4-4, 5-5 घंटे हमारे लिए, लाइक 2 मिनट का भी हमारा शूट नहीं होता था, फिर भी लाइक वी हैव टू गेट अप 5 AM हमको रेडी करते थे। एंड दे मेक श्योर कि 100 साल पुराने लोग कैसे कपड़े पहनते थे, कैसे होने चाहिए, कैसे दिखने चाहिए। तो बहुत सारा वर्क उन्होंने भी दिया है इसके अंदर।
I'm sure other members of the audience would also be eager to ask questions. Can we move on?
नमस्कार सर, मैं सुधीर पांचजन्य से। आपने जैसे अनसंग हीरोज में सावरकर जी पर आपने फिल्म बनाई है, तो क्या जनजातीय नायकों पर भी कुछ आप फिल्म वगैरह बनाएंगे, जैसे बिरसा मुंडा जी हो गए या लाचित बरफुखन जी हो गए?
मुझे बहुत इंटरेस्ट है इन दोनों कैरेक्टर में जिनका आपने नाम लिया है, और इनके ऊपर मैंने काफी विचार भी किया है, काफी पढ़ाई भी की है। अभी मैं दोबारा 2 साल पिक्चर को किसी को कमिट करके कुछ और ही बन जाना काफी डिफिकल्ट होता है, पर मैं इन चीज पे सोच कर रहा हूँ, क्योंकि बिरसा मुंडा और अपने जो एसमीज, हाँ, वो बहुत ही उन्होंने भी किया था। पर क्या है ना, जैसे स्पोर्ट्स की बायोपिक्स होती हैं, उनकी सबकी एक ही कहानी होती है। अंडर प्रिविलेज परिवार से आए हैं, फिर मुश्किल से कंपटीशन में जाते हैं, फिर माता पिता अगेंस्ट होते हैं, ये होते हैं, फिर हार जाते हैं, फिर कैसे दोबारा वो करके रेड टेप में दोबारा सिलेक्शन करके एंड में जीत जाते हैं, सब ताली बजाते हैं। तो बायोपिक्स का, जो हिस्टोरिकल बायोपिक्स का भी ऐसे मैंने कोशिश की है सावरकर की मूवी में कि मैं उनको एक नरेशन ना डालूं, एक कहानी बोलूं नहीं, दिखाऊं। तो काफी उसके लिए एक नया तरीका अगर मैं अपने दिमाग में ला पाऊं उस स्टोरी को बताने का, तो ही मैं उसको अटेम्प्ट करूंगा। पर मेरी बहुत रुचि है इन चीजों में, बिकॉज इतने सारे लोग हैं जिन्होंने दूर दराज के इलाकों में भी अंग्रेजों का विरोध किया था। पर मेरा उसीलिए तो मैं इतना उत्तेजित था इस मूवी को लेके कि हमें आजादी 3-4 लोगों ने नहीं दिलाई है, हजारों लोग थे, पर वो 3-4 लोग ही पोस्टर बॉय बन के रह गए। और मैं इसको एक अन्याय मानता हूं। तो सबको न्याय मिलना चाहिए, सबको अपने जगह इतिहास में, भारत के इतिहास में, भारत के स्वतंत्रता की लड़ाई में मिलनी चाहिए।
As you said, recently I had been to Andaman Nicobar. As you said it very rightly, his cell, when you see his cell, we get really pathetic about the whole thing, how he could survive. My question is, what what was the mental state of mind an individual is put in that situation? Have you taken it up?
Well, all the cells in Andaman Nicobar Island face the same way. So you cannot see another person once you're locked in. जब पहले दिन वहां पे कैदी जाता था तो लॉक करके चाबी अंदर फेंक देते थे और वो सारी रात बेचारा हाथ लगा के उसको खोलने की कोशिश करता था, वो नहीं, वो टॉर्चर होता था, राइट? आपको एक ही टाइम पे, वहां पे टॉयलेट्स नहीं थे तो एक ही टाइम पे आपको दिन में एक ही टाइम वहां जाता था, पानी लिमिटेड मिलता था। और कोहलू की जब सजा मिलती थी तो आपको एक इतने से कप पानी में पूरा दिन करना है और कितने तो उसमें लीटर आपको तेल निकालना होता था। हमने चला के देखा, खुद बनाया एक कोहलू, चला के देखा, हमारी सबकी बैंड बज गई, इतना सा तेल नहीं निकला। सो दैट काइंड ऑफ फिजिकल टॉर्चर विदाउट, उनको मार थी खाने की, सैनिटेशन की और आइसोलेशन की, राइट? ऊपर से मच्छर बहुत थे और वो थे, और आप ऐसे अकेले पड़े पड़े आप पागल हो जाएं। और उनको आइसोलेशन सेल में डाला जाता था, जो अंधेरी सेल होती थी, 6-6 महीने आदमी मर जाए। इट्स इनह्यूमन टू डू दैट, बट अंग्रेजों ने ये किया। और ये सब देख के, और उसके बाद जब सावरकर जी को ये लगे, सावरकर जी अपने आप को बहुत ही इन्फ्लुएंसर समझते थे, जो वो थे भी, तो उन्हें लगने लगा कि मैं यहाँ जेल में सड़ रहा हूं और मर जाऊंगा, मेरा कोई योगदान ही नहीं रहेगा वहां पे। तो उन्होंने अपने लिए ही नहीं, सबके लिए उन्होंने बेल पिटीशन लिखनी शुरू की, जिसको माफीनामा बोलते हैं। वो एक होता था, उसकी जो लैंग्वेज है, मेरे पास गांधी जी की भी लेटर्स हैं जो सेम लैंग्वेज यूज की हुई है, नेहरू जी की भी लेटर्स हैं सेम लैंग्वेज यूज की हुई हैं, राइट? मेरे पास सबकी सो कॉल्ड बेल पिटीशन लेटर्स हैं, पर मैं किसी को नीचा नहीं दिखाना चाहता था, मैं सिर्फ इनकी बताना चाहता था। तो उन्होंने साम दाम दंड भेद, आप क्या करोगे? आप 27 साल के हो, आपको 50 साल की कैद हो गई, उनको 1960 में छूटने वाले थे वो, तो अब क्या रहोगे? एक तो आदमी हो कि वहां पढ़ के डिस्पेयर में पड़ा रहे, मर जाए, खुदकुशी कर ले, और एक आदमी हो कि साम दाम दंड भेद करके कैसे भी यहां से बाहर निकला जाए। तो सावरकर उनमें से थे। उन्होंने कितने लोगों की बेल पिटीशन लिखी जिनको वहां से छोड़ा गया, और वो हर चिट्ठी में लिखते थे, इफ इंक्लूडिंग माई नेम इज holding you back from this mercy of releasing these people from this hell, please exclude me from it. यहां तक वो लिखते थे, but those things are not highlighted, those things are not put forth to people, and political लालचना is put on him. अरे माफी, अरे यार कभी एक बार जाके देखो वहां पे। And vis-a-vis the jails, गांधी साहब आगा खान पैलेस में रहते थे, राइट? नेहरू साहब अलग उसमें रहते थे, उनके पास सब प्रोविजंस थी, बावर्ची तक थे, गोट के मिल्क की आइसक्रीम बनती थी, क्या क्या बताऊं मैं आपको। तो अलग अलग ट्रीटमेंट किया गया, क्योंकि ये लोग सशस्त्र क्रांति वाले थे, इन लोगों को ज्यादा खतरनाक माना जाता था, और जो अहिंसा वाले थे उनको खतरनाक नहीं माना जाता था। उनके साथ, इसीलिए उनके साथ नेगोशिएशंस होती थी, और इनको देश से काट के काला पानी या मांडले या यमन भेज देते थे।
Ladies and gentlemen, we have time for one last question from the audience. Yes, ma'am. Can we have a cordless mic?
Hi, Randeep. My name is Harshita Ved Pathak. I'm from Mumbai and working for Screen Graphia. I had a privilege of interviewing you since your first film. I'm not talking about Miraj's film, but
Yeah. I do remember you. How are you?
Very well, sir. So, whenever we got to know that Randeep Hooda, जो कि you had played Charles and the D and all that, अलग किस्म की फिल्म थी। जब हमें पता चला कि आप सावरकर जी की भूमिका करें, we all were shocked. बट पोस्ट जब आपका फर्स्ट टीजर, आपका फर्स्ट लुक आया, माइंड ब्लोइंग। तो ये जो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन है, हम जानते थे हमारे दिमाग में आप चार्ल्स डी कंपनी, उसी तरह तो आपके दिमाग में भी वही होंगे कि आपकी पहले वाली इमेज। ये जो आपका एज एन एक्टर जो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन आपको करना पड़ा, तो क्या कुछ उसके लिए जूझना पड़ा?
देखिए, वो जो डी और चार्ल्स और रंगरसिया, सरबजीत, ऑल दीज अदर मूवीज दैट आई हैव डन, वो भी मैं नहीं हूं। मेरे दिमाग में वो इमेज अपनी बिल्कुल नहीं है। मेरे दिमाग में मेरी इमेज ही सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम। अगर आप ऐसे काम करते हैं और इस तरह की एक्टिंग में विश्वास रखते हैं, तो आपकी सेल्फ इमेज तो बहुत ही कम हो जाती है। तो मेरे को बिल्कुल भी मेरे दिमाग में वो इमेज नहीं थी। पर मेरा तो सिंपल मामला है, किसी भी एक्टर को अगर वो किसी भी रियल पर्सन पे बेस्ड रोल कर रहा है तो सबसे बेसिक चीज तो उस जैसा दिखना ही होता है ना, राइट? अब मैंने बहुत वाले पुलिस के भी बहुत रोल किए हैं, पर मेरा एक रोल दूसरे पुलिस वाले रोल जैसा नहीं है, बिकॉज ना आप पुलिस के रोल करते हो, आप एक इंसान के रोल करते हो जो पुलिस की नौकरी करता है, राइट? तो इसी तरह से आप डिफरेंसेस बनाते हो। तो आई एम वेरी ग्रेटफुल दैट you liked my transformation in this one. So when I saw this, when I saw his photographs, I talked to Renuka Pillai, who's my makeup artist and who's done all those transformations with me. And so we decided that, okay, you've got big cheekbones, you've got a jawline, and so I think it will pop out. Then my sister, who is an internal medicine doctor and who specializes in all this, she then advised me the diet, the exercise, and all the things that I have to do. And then we start on that journey, and then one day we hope. But I found one thing as an artist or as an actor, when you keep thinking in a certain way and looking at the photographs or whatever material is available of a person, you automatically start looking like them. I don't know how it happens, when it happens, but it happens.
Thank you, Randeep. Once again, I thank all the members of the cast and the crew who are not here today of Swatantra Veer Savarkar. I'm so grateful for the anecdotes that you shared, and I'm sure that the message of the film will be conveyed even better to the audience, to our people through the media here today, thanks to the discussion that we had and the rich insights that we received from all of you. Thank you once again.
Thank you for
Before
your
we
patience.
conclude, I would like to present a memento to you from the Press Information Bureau team as a token of our gratitude.
Where over there?
We can have it here. Yes, that would be lovely. Please.
Please.